On behalf of the International Campaign for Tibet and the Mind and Life Institute, I would like to welcome you to Global Peace Through Compassion, a public talk by His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the nation's capital. My name is Mary Beth Markey. I'm the Executive Director of the International Campaign for Tibet. I hope you all have in hand, thank you, a copy of today's program so that you can learn about the work of the International Campaign for Tibet and the Mind and Life Institute, and that you will join us in our efforts to promote a world that is more peaceful, respectful, and responsive to the needs of its diverse peoples. I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who has made time for us in a busy schedule that includes a conference exploring the science of meditation, the plenary address to a meeting of 30,000 neuroscientists, a visit to the Booker T. Washington Public Charter School, numerous private and public roundtables on subjects ranging from the environment to universal responsibility, and because we are in the capital of the free world, meetings with the President of the United States, the Secretary of State, and the congressional leadership to examine the plight of the Tibetan people and discuss concrete measures our government can take to support the Dalai Lama's efforts to find a peaceful and lasting solution for Tibet. This week's travel and its agenda is but a sampling of the long journey that the Dalai Lama has made from the isolation of Tibet to the world stage, a journey taken on behalf of the Tibetan people, but made easier because of friends who have opened their doors and their hearts to the Dalai Lama. Among his greatest friends, both in the depth of her commitment and the stature of her achievements, is the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi has represented the people of California's 8th District for 18 years. She has risen to a position of leadership in the Congress, not only because she has served her constituents effectively by navigating the halls of Congress with great skill and determination, but because she represents the principles by which all Americans wish to have the world know us: justice, equity, equality, courage, resourcefulness, mindfulness, an unwavering commitment to freedom and respect for the inherent dignity of every person, of all peoples, of all faiths. Leader Pelosi is the best friend anyone can have in the kind of David and Goliath struggle that the Tibetans are engaged in with China. Nancy has used her position in Congress to secure humanitarian assistance for Tibetan refugees, to press both Republican and Democratic administrations to make human rights in Tibet a priority, and to prevail against one famously ill-conceived World Bank project that would have endangered Tibetan lands and peoples. And as you are about to witness, she is ever willing to raise her voice for Tibet. It is my privilege to invite her on stage to introduce His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democratic leader of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, Mary Beth Markey, for your very generous words of introduction and welcome. More importantly, thank you for your tremendous leadership on issues relating to Tibet and your leadership role in the international campaign for Tibet. Let's hear it again for Mary Beth Markey. What a wonderful honor it is for all of us today to be in the presence and to breathe the same air in the same room as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I'm so pleased to see so many young people here today because His Holiness has a special relationship with young people. So let's, young people, applaud yourselves, and everyone join in welcoming so many young people here today. Himself, His Holiness, a spiritual leader as a boy, His Holiness understands the impact young people can have upon the world. At 15, he found himself the leader of 6 million Tibetans facing an invading Chinese army. Today, around the world, young people are inspired by the message of the Dalai Lama and the cause of Tibet. As a young person, the Dalai Lama enjoyed mechanics and science. As one of his favorite gifts was a gold watch from President Franklin Roosevelt, showing the phases of the moon and the days of the week. Thus began a valued relationship between the United States and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He described the watch as magnificent and took it with him when he fled Tibet in 1959. As a testament to his childhood curiosity, His Holiness still uses the watch today. His teachings about the connection between science and religion are an important and relevant part of the message that he brings to the United States on this visit. His Holiness describes himself as a simple monk, nothing more, nothing less. It is evident of his transcendent message of peace that 16,000 people are here today to hear the words of this simple monk. Isn't that exciting? His Holiness has traveled the world building bridges between and among religions. He explains each religion has a certain unique idea or technique. Learning about them can only enrich one's own faith. Consistent with his role as spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama has made the human rights situation in Tibet an issue of international concern. So powerful is his image that Tibetans are imprisoned for simply owning pictures of the Dalai Lama, and any public display of devotion to him is prohibited. When His Holiness accepted the Nobel Peace Prize, he did so on behalf of oppressed people everywhere and all those who struggle for freedom and work for world peace. As a new member of Congress in 1987, I had the privilege of being in attendance when His Holiness proposed the historic 5-point peace plan toward resolving the future status of Tibet. Indeed, the situation in Tibet is a challenge to the conscience of the world. The United States must be committed to meeting this challenge. Only then can we be consistent about talking about human rights any other place in the world.